Welcome back, guys. Come to my attention with a comment yesterday on my YouTube. I had never mentioned it before. Never, nothing. But my allicechalmers here, do a little story on it. This thing sat in a tree line for over 5 years before I found it. And this side, the reason this tire's so bad, because I haven't put tires on, I've owned it probably 8, 9 years now. And this side set towards the field and the other side was in the shade. So this tire went to hell and the other one didn't. I was turkey hunting when I found it, and I leaned against, pitch dark, a tree, and I look over my shoulder and boom, here sat this tractor in the weeds. And I thought, I wonder what's wrong with that. Whenever it was setting, like I said, it hadn't ran. I didn't know what was wrong with it. I found out who owned it, and luckily, I bought it for $500. Now, everybody gives me shit about this cab and everything. Well, right here where this plates are around it, there was a maple tree growing around the transmission straight up into the roof. Whenever I got there, whenever I went to pick it up, we took a gooseneck and I pushed it on the trailer with the 285. But it had a tree growing through it there. We had to cut that tree out. I was talking about my welding my tanks. This one here, well, I had to do it twice because I bought some cheap tank liner. You got to get the good stuff. But I had to do this because there was that much sludge in the bottom of this tank. Black sludge from being biodiesel where it sat that long. And the reason it was setting, we got it home and in 15 minutes it lit up and it ran perfect. But the reason it sat so long, like you can even see here though, this was all rotted out. And I took plates and made plates in here and made it better than it was. It had no doors on it, no windows in it when I got it, and they raked hay with it. Well, what happened is the throwout bearing went bad in it, and it crashed the pressure plate. So I had to split it. I got that all fixed, and 2 years after that, the reverse gear went out of it, and that's really the only major things that's what's wrong with it. I mean, it's got, you can see all that. I mean, you can see in the cab how much dirt was in the floor. And when I bought it, it had 1,500 original engine hours on it. And this is over a 10-year span. I've put a little over 1,000 hours on it. And that's 1,500 original engine hours. And, I mean, you can just see, I mean, it sat outside its whole life. There's pinholes there where shit was laying in it. I did put the straight pipe on it. Me back in the day being a kid, and it's still on there. We put some lights on it because when I got this thing, I had a cab. I was excited as could be. I thought, here we go. My plans was always, I'm going to fix the air conditioner and the heater and everything. That hasn't went too far. It probably won't take a whole lot to fix the heater. I just ain't really had time to screw with it. Like I said, only things I had a problem with the solenoid. It run the auger this year. I rebuilt every cylinder on it. That one started leaking, running our 3-point cultivator. I blew this one. Literally went back to the field, made one round and blew that one. I've had the rear end apart a couple times. Just odds and ends. I mean, it sat. And the back window in it, we had to bale straw with it last year. Right before I started making YouTube videos. I didn't put the window back in it because the thing sat, it wasn't running. Well, come to find out, my, it lost prime and that thing's bad. Now, I know there's probably some out there somewhere that you can get them or whatever. This thing will not start in the winter. It's hard starting all the time. I put an electric lift pump on there, and this thing, you put that, turn your lift pump on, give it a second, and it fires up every time. I am going to get a valve cover gasket because that's where all the oil's coming from. This is one thing we need to pull in the shop, but bringing it to my attention, I'd never said anything to you guys about where this was or where it came from. Actually, these, I've never put back tires on it. I mean, they're shot, they're bad, but I haven't put any on it yet. So that was this one sitting in the trees, and I guess we might as well throw the 4180 in on here because it was sitting in the trees too. So I'm gonna walk over and we'll catch you in a second. Well, we're back out here at the 4180. It was another one. I found it sitting in a tree line. This one hasn't got any progress because I'm in search of something that has stopped me. My drive shafts. I need one of them because we had to rebuild the motor. Let me get up there. Oh, I got Harry's laying away and everything. Had to rebuild the 32.8 in it. Whenever I found this tractor, this motor was gutted. There was nothing on it. It was just in pieces. And I was like, there we go. It was in pieces. And come to find out, one of the pencil injectors had stuck open. Well, did that, and it melted down, I believe, this cylinder. My electronic shut off. Does that sit there? No, where does that sit? Yes, it does. Right here. Yeah. I've got one in the shop waiting on that. That's why we ain't been running this one. This tractor, my grandpa worked for the white dealership around here. And I have no doors, no windows, no nothing for it. I only got one side panel. I need the other one. I mean, it's missing a lot. But I bought it. See if I can zoom out. I bought it because my grandpa worked at the white dealership and actually sold this tractor brand new. This tractor was a demo against Allicechalmers down in the river bottoms. And it won the demo. Now, this is a story I've heard. It might not be 100% true. But it won the demo against Allicechalmers. And I ain't going to say the guy's name, but he bought this tractor brand new that day at the demo. Well, he bought it new, and he used it for several years, and he never put it in the shed. Why the cab looks the way it does. Well, he's the one that melted the piston down when the injector went out. Well, it sat in the river bottoms for several years. I mean, it flooded down there and everything. Never hurt anything. Water never got high enough, luckily, where it was setting. Then the feller I bought it from, he bought it because he needed parts for his 4180. But then he got the tractor home and realized it's in too good of shape to part out. Which I know somebody watching this is going to be like, that thing's not in good shape. It's junk. It looks that way. It's got potential. And if I get enough subscribers and followers to where I get a GoPro and I know I'm making something on YouTube, we're getting this thing in the shop. But, like I said, it was a demo. I don't know what I'm forgetting. Oh, when we pulled it home, actually, the hydraulic lines are over there. I pulled this home. It wasn't too far from my house. We used the 285, hooked her to the front, and I took hydraulic hoses and run to the steering cylinder. And like the lever to raise and lower your implement, that's how I turned to the tractor. And my dad rode in there all the way home. But this thing, this tractor, I like it. I mean, Ross has got one. This one has the different hubs than his. It's actually got duals. There's the duals, and there's the hubs for the duals. We took them off because, believe it or not, this thing will fit in the shop. There's not a lot of room on the back end, but it'll fit in the shop. Because when I had it in there, which I had it in there, trying to think back, 4 years ago, last time I worked on this, the cab's rotted out. I was in the process of fixing the cab. That's as far as we got. I painted this side, ran out of paint. We got more to do. I don't have a top link. So, hey, anybody on here, if you got the drive shafts and a top link for this, I'd be very interested. And a door and a side panel. But that's where it sits now. I hadn't said anything about it. I just kind of walked by and said, there's my 4180. So, coming to my, someone commented yesterday, when I mentioned the Allicechalmers, and I need to be explaining this. It's good content. Hopefully somebody will listen to the stories. But while we're out here, the 285 story on it, This tractor, that's not the original motor. From my, I don't know, my camera's doing this. My dad bought this tractor brand new. It only had a few hundred hours on it, and they had just done the break-in oil change on the motor. Well, there's a screen, I guess, underneath of there, and I believe I don't know, either my grandpa or my dad, one of the two were discing, and it sucked some trash up in there, and it locked the motor up, still under warranty. So they put a new motor in it, had it ever since. Biggest thing on that, the steering box up here. One time Dad hit a tile hole and turned real fast, and it busted the whole front end out of it on the steering box. Other than that, knock on wood, we have not had very many problems out of this tractor. And then you can see it. You've seen the 87 out there. Be that one leaning to the side. That's the first white combine I ever bought on my own. And it was sitting in the barn, hadn't run for years. So when you guys see me struggling with stuff breaking down, it's not because I don't take care of it. I buy my stuff sitting in the weeds that's abandoned. That's how I get my equipment. I mean, I had planters, and that 7300, it's in immaculate shape because it was Dad's. Nothing wrong with this tractor, Grandpa's tractor. Well, in the 270, it was bought used. I believe they traded a Farmall for it. Couple cornhead gearboxes there. Y'all have seen a planter. Planting for Ross. I believe that's all I got. But I'm not going to make a whole lot of video on this stuff because I'm sure you guys think of us is about boring as can be. If you stay along long enough, I'm just going to go ahead and end her here. Go ahead and give me a comment. I messed up. A like, a follow, and a comment, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. The end here of the 770. See y'all later.